All things good about high school sports on display today in Florence, Colorado. Palmer Field is the site. State 3A championship game between the host Florence Huskies and the Bulldogs of Palisade. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm joined by Chieftain's Joe Servy. And Joe, I think we can honestly say we have the two best teams on display here today.
That's right. You look at their records, you look at the schedule of competition they played, their road through the playoffs. I think without a doubt in Class 3A, Palisade and Florence are the two top teams in 3A. Should be a battle today.
If you look at one unit that has really separated themselves throughout this State 3A bracket, it has been the Florence defense.
That's right. Florence's defense has been a stingy defense all season long. You got the two tackles up front, Carpolo and Slack. You got active linebackers like Slack, the good cover corners, and speed. This Florence defense, they want to be the difference in a game today.
Well, on offense, it's a family affair. The Badaris family dominates this lineup.
Yeah, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Badaris in this stadium. They're all over the place. Ty, Clint, Mark, the coach. I guarantee if Florence wins, a Badaris is going to have a hand in it.
This Palisade Ball Club, they had a tough ball game last week against Pueblo County. They came from behind, 21 points in the fourth quarter of play, and Bounds is the man to stop.
You know, Travis Bounds, I went over to Palisade last week and covered that game for the Chieftain, and regardless of classification, he is the best back I have seen this year, just because he is the best guy I see turn a 4-yard run into an 8-yard run. We've seen faster backs, maybe more flashy backs, but this kid will do the dirty work for you.
Well, we talked about Florence defense. If there's a big challenge today that I look at is, can Palisade's defense keep up with Florence offense?
Well, that's going to be the difference. Some games we go into it thinking maybe 7-6, maybe 12-7. You know, you never know what kind of feel you're going to get. This could be 42-41 when it's all said and done. If the defenses don't come to play, both these teams have potent offenses, so we'll have to see what happens.
Right now we're going to take a look into the keys to victory for today's ball game. First for the Florence Huskies.
Okay, the Florence Huskies, there's no secret. They have to stay in bounds defensively. They have to, number 23 from Palisade. Everybody in the stadium knows he's going to catch the ball 25 times. You just have to be able to limit what he does. He is going to get his because he is that good. But you just can't let him beat you solely by everything that he does. He takes direct snaps. He throws the ball. Well, we saw him throw in the warm-ups. He throws the ball. He runs out of the tailback and fullback position, so they got to stay in bounds. Second, they need to establish the run. Florence, that's what they do all year. They fullback, tailback, Badaris, and then they throw the Haynes kid in there for speed. They got to establish that run. Third, and finally, they have to celebrate this family affair. You got Mark Badaris as the head coach, Clinton Ty in the backfield, the entire community around. They have to celebrate that they're playing for the 3A state championship, and we saw fans here at 7 o'clock this morning. Florence is ready as a community.
It's Palisade Ball Club. It's another long road trip. That's used to that, though. 300 miles. They've made the trip over here. What do they have to do?
First, Palisade, they need to avoid turnovers. You come on the road, you come into a hostile environment, you come to a stadium that you're not used to playing. You got to worry about wrapping up the ball, tucking away the ball, especially on special teams. You cannot turn the ball over. Second, they need to meet the challenge defensively. Talking to Palisade head coach Todd Casebeer, his team thrives on good defense. If his defense is playing good, his offense just gets that much more excited. So everything starts with the defense for them if they're playing hard early. Third, and finally, they have to use dust in the wind. We got dust in the wind. Dustin Harris is a quarterback. Travis Bounds is going to get the ball a lot, but Dustin Harris, he's only a junior quarterback for Palisade. He has shown throughout the playoffs and even all season long that he is capable of running this offense, and he may be the difference for Palisade.
Well, we have a perfect atmosphere. We have perfect weather. We have an overflow crowd. We can't wait. The opening kickoff, that's coming your way next on CNN Sports. Today's ball game brought to you by Quick Stop Incorporated, at City Market, Valco Concrete, and by Del Myers. Canyon Concrete, Morelli Consulting, Last Mile Estates, Lippis Excavating, and the Fremont School District RE2. And by Canyon Rental, and the good folks at Domino's. Well, welcome back to Palmer Field in Florence, Colorado. Overflow crowd, great atmosphere, great weather. Joe, you couldn't ask for anything better. We got the two best teams, in our opinion, that have made their way into this championship ball game.
This is just fun. You look on both ends of the stadium are full. They brought in what temporary bleachers they could fit in here. They just announced about 5 minutes ago the Palisade Spirit Bus just arrived, so everybody's going to get even more tight with the seats. There aren't many seats. I think if you come now, you're standing. Of course, we're standing high above the stadium at Palmer Field.
Challenging today, but it's kind of fun. At least the wind isn't blowing about 30 and it isn't 30 degrees. Probably about 50 degrees here today in Florence. It's a very pleasant afternoon. Palisade, of course, from the Grand Junction area. They play all their home games right there in Grand Junction. They have a fine facility, so this may be a little shock to them coming on the road, but kind of a home-like atmosphere.
Sure, Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction is where Mesa State plays, where Grand Junction Central, and where Grand Junction and Fruita Monument all play their home games, including Palisade. So it's a well-used facility. I was there last week. Beautiful place. They take care of their teams quite well. I'm sure Florence has done everything they can to make Palisade feel at home, just not too at home.
That's right.
Just don't get too comfortable here
you don't want
in Florence, Colorado.
You don't want to quite give them the right directions, all that kind of thing. You go that way, go the long way around, do all that kind of stuff.
That's right. You got to park over there.
Well, speaking of parking, I think we're a ways away. I had to hike into the stadium today.
Well,
it's kind of nice. A little festival going on downtown here today. A lot of things going on in Florence. I, in fact, stopped a couple of people on the streets, a couple probably middle school girls, and asked, "Where's this high school at?" "Oh, you can't miss it, sir. There's a big building down there, and there's a huge crowd. You can't miss it."
A huge football game today.
So, made the way down here, just follow the crowd, and that's where we're at here at Palmer Field.
Getting ready for the captains to meet at the newly and nattily painted Husky.
Yeah, beautiful looking Husky right in the middle of the field. Palisade in their visiting white jersey, the maroon trim.
Introduce yourselves.
Let's go to our referee.
Captains for the Huskies, Zach Crowfoot, Corey Capello.
Okay, gentlemen, congratulations on being here. What a feat, huh? This is fun. This is what it's all about. This is what you played hard all year for. As captains of your team, I expect you to be on top of things out here, take care of any problems we might have. I don't expect any, okay? But I'm going to depend on you gentlemen. Palisade, you're the visiting team. Who's going to be the spokesman? Number 23, step up here. That's heads. That's tails. I'm going to let it hit the ground. What are you going to call? Tails. What do you say? Tails. There you go, gentlemen. There's the coin toss. It is tails. Palisade, you've won the toss. You want to receive? Which goal do you want to defend? Put your backs over there. Put your backs over here. Palisade has won the toss and will receive.
Well, we like that, Joe. When a team wins the toss, don't defer. Get that ball, and you're confident in your offense, and that's what's happened
Have fun,
here.
Gentlemen.
Well, you saw who made the call for Palisade. Number 23, his name's Travis Bounds. You're going to hear us talk about him a lot. Travis Bounds wants that ball in his hands.
Definitely.
He wants it now. Get ready here for the Star-Spangled Banner.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand as Megan Wahlberg sings our national anthem.
The Megan Wahlberg singing the anthem today here. I'd say it's a packed field, but goes without saying. Fine job indeed. Cannon goes off. We got a little artillery. We got a little noisemaker today, Joe. You gotta love it.
More noisemakers than you.
True.
Jim's usually our only noisemaker, so we. This is just fun, isn't it? Just looking out over the crowd, and I mean, this is just amazing. You look at both ends of the stadium full, 10 deep, all the way around. And there is no capacity. It's a community stadium.
Yeah,
you can't list how many people they can jam in here.
Reminds me a lot of the state title game a couple years ago that we watched in, we'll say it to our Florence viewers, Canyon City.
Yeah.
And kind of like that. They had the stadium, only about Canyon City, they had the little cookout going. You got a little, get the hamburgers going through.
Well,
That's
I'll tell you
one thing
what,
they're missing here.
Florence won't mind if we compare that game to this one if they come out on top.
If they come out with the win, that's for sure. Florence will kick off. They defend the goal to our left as we look at it here.
Listen to that crowd.
You see Eli Groh back deep to receive the kick.
And of course, Travis Bounds.
Travis Bounds, he does everything. They're about set to go. A loud, raucous, noisy Palmer Field, and we're underway with the State 3A Championship game. Kickoff is short one, and it sails out of bounds. Was it touched? No, it'll be out of bounds. And that ball will come out to the 35-yard line.
Florence comes on the sideline saying, he touched that, he touched that. I don't know. Did a good job getting out of the way, it looked like. They were definitely kicking away from Travis Bounds.
Take a look at the starting lineups for Palisade on offense. Stopper, Grove, Castor, Popick, and Corn Grotto on the front line. Grove, Green, and Moore are your receivers. Britton, Harrison, Bounds. Bounds the man to watch in this offense. Bounds on the year, 2,000 yards. Averages 7.4 yards a game. He has 28 touchdowns on the year. And they give it up the middle, nothing there. And they shut him down immediately for no gain. Take a look at the Florence defense who came up with the stop there as they face a 2nd and 10 now. Smith, Carpillo, Slack, and Espinoza on the front line. Linebackers are Bergant, Crowfoot, and Cockledge. Haynes, Schote, Carey, and Saul are your defensive backs. Play action, rolling to the right, now gonna run with it. Up around the 40-yard line, that's the quarterback, Dustin Harris. Picks up 5 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Dustin Harris showing that this is not a one-dimensional team, how good Travis Bounds is. We know, see right here, everybody bit Travis Bounds. Dustin Harris looks up the field, and 5 yards up the field before Zach Crowfoot, number 48 for Florence, makes a tackle.
3rd and 5 upcoming for Palisade, just underway.
I have a feeling we're going to be calling Zach Crowfoot's name a lot today as well.
Moore splits wide to the left, Groh to the right, he's in motion. And they give it to the fullback up the middle, big gain, across the 50, 40. This is Bounds, and he will go into the end zone, touchdown, 60 yards. And just like that, the Bulldogs take the lead. Big opening off the right side, and for a big guy that runs with as much power, he just ran away from everybody there, Joe.
Travis Bounds, people didn't realize when I told him, he is the real deal. This kid can flat play. And you just saw that. That was power and speed on the same run. 60 yards.
Weidgren in to add the extra point. They got a good rush in there, but the kick is up, and it is good. 10:35 to go. First quarter, Bulldogs on the board first. Palisade 7, Florence nothing on CNM Sports. And by the folks of Alco Concrete. Well, a pretty easy drive summary there, Joe. 3 plays, 65 yards, 60-yard run by Travis Bounds.
Is he not a good-looking tailback?
Man, he is the real deal. Wygren's kick sails down to about the 10. Coming back upfield, that's St. Laurent. Up, hit down as he gets it out close to the 30-yard line, called about the 29. And that's where Florence, on offense, will start their first possession of the ball game. And it has a Baderas flavor on offense, that is for sure, this Husky lineup. Take a look at that lineup after we get this first play underway here for the Huskies. 1st and 10. Call it the 29-yard line. Shifting on defense are the Bulldogs. Run the option to the right. This is Haynes. Tries to turn the corner, and he does. He's got a little opening. Breaks a tackle. 35-40. He's off to the races. 50. Cuts inside. He may go. 30. 21 man to beat, and he will beat him into the end zone. Touchdown! Well, we expected a lot of offense, Joe, and we've gotten just that. 2 huge plays on offense on the first series for each offense in this ball game.
Holy cow!
Mike Haynes, a 71-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage. Now Florence, as we saw in the earlier meeting this year, they're a little tricky to start the extra point setup. Now they'll adjust. And they'll go ahead and kick it. And movement on the right side.
71 yards. 16 seconds.
And the great thing about it, Joe, in our little perch here, we're only, if you're at a, they were only, what, 10 right? And they ran it right at us. You can see that huge hole. Kind of like it down here.
Well, in a game where points are a premium, I don't think you want a motion penalty on the extra point. I always love extra point. There's nothing extra about extra points. You win or lose games with these extra points.
Ball down, kick is up, and it squeezes through there. 10-13 to go, first quarter. Florence 7, Palisade 7 on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Del Myers, Canyon Con, and the folks at Morelli Consulting. Well, just what we thought we'd get, Joe. Offense, offense, offense.
Well, we thought 42-41, that might have been the under. Yeah, 82 might have been the under. That's just nerves, but was that a nifty run by Mike Haynes?
Yeah, he made a nice little cut there when he...
And I think he could have scored inside or outside.
Yeah.
I think he had it both ways. He had the blocking set up.
Here you see Groh. This time he's back deep with Swanson. The short man this time, Travis Bounds, is standing on the 20. Maybe they're going to try to trick him here if it's a short kick. Young's kick goes right down the middle to Groh. He takes it at the 15, right up the middle with it, and he is hit hard and bounced back at about the 27-yard line. What a hit in the middle there for the Huskies. So, Bulldogs will start 1st and 10 from their own 28. You see they hit right in the middle.
Nice.
So buckle your seatbelts. Offense for the Bulldogs back on the field. They run the option to the right. They give it up the middle to Bounds. This time they shut him down. Gets it to about the 30-yard line, maybe the 31. We'll give him 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs.
Travis Bounds, again, a hard runner with speed. It's a nice combination to have. You saw when he took the ball off tackle, kept his feet moving, almost turning like he's turning butter, and just 3 yards.
This time they split 2 receivers to the left. Quick pitch to the right.
That's Kyle
Across
Britton.
the 35, 40, 46-yard line. Britton on the carry. Britton is only a sophomore, 5'11", 170-pounder. Got the first down on the play, though. Picks up 13. 1st and 10. You see him turn the corner there. Ball at the 44-yard line. They fumble it on the exchange. It's loose. Still down there. Let's see who's got it. Looks like Palisade got it.
I think Harris got it back on that. No, that was Victor Green, the tight end. Number 37, Victor Green.
So a loss of 4 on the play. He's 2nd down and 14 from the 40.
This looks like a bad exchange. No, the ball just came out of Harris's hand. It's turned to hand it off, and it just slipped out of his hands.
Like he wanted to give it to Bounds, or at least fake it to him. Now,
direct snap.
Here it is, the direct snap. They pitch it to the quarterback coming back this way.
And there's a hold.
Flags down, and a gain of about 2, and then maybe a late hit. They'll call that one, but a holding penalty way back in the backfield at about the 33-yard line. We'll see that today from Palisade, Joe. They'll run the quarterback in motion, then direct snap it.
That is a hold, and they're going to decline that, I'm sure.
You know what, I'd take it, Joe, because it's a spot foul. The flag is back at the 33, mark him back the 10 to the 23.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, repeat the down.
Okay. I can see your reasoning also, though, to make it 3rd and long. Give him only 1 shot for the big play.
Sure.
But when you're confident in your defense here, move them back, I guess.
Well, they're going backwards. Started this. Again, it was a snap to Bounds. He pitches it right back to Harris. The hold was to the right of your screen. Zach Crowfoot, number 48, come in and make the tackle, along with some help from his friends.
3rd and about 32, I believe. Here is a pass down the middle, and it is complete across the 30 to about the 32-yard line as they get the pass to Eli Grove. So that'll bring up 3rd down now. Ball at the 33-yard line. They need to get it to about the 46. So I think 21 here.
3rd and 21 is a manageable. You would hope your defense would pin its ears back on a 3rd and 21. Again, nice hit by the cornerback, Florence.
And they run the draw play.
That's Kyle Britton
breaking
again.
tackle, Britton across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. So they get back to the original line of scrimmage. Pickup of 11. And the official signaled 1st down. He didn't realize it was so far to go. It's 4th down, shouldn't it be? It's got to be 4th down. There we go. Officials confused by the down and distance, but they get it straight. 4th and 10.
Great defensive stand by the Florence Huskies. Oh, no!
High snap. Bounds will have to try to chase it down. He gathers it in, but he's going to be snowed under back inside the 15-yard line.
Mike Fowler from Florence. Special teams, big play. Mike Fowler and Jeff Smith, number 20 and 28. Gunners on the punt team, go in and get the football.
So, just as good as a turnover, the bad snap. And now Florence with the short field from the 15-yard line of the Bulldogs. Here it is again. You see Bounce chasing it down. Now they go Badaris, the quarterback, up the middle. That's Clint Badaris. He fakes it to the right side to Ty, and then he runs up into the left side. A little counter play. Gain of about 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Well, that big special play team, that big snap, bad snap there. Travis Bounds is not a little guy. That ball flew over his head. And Jeff Smith and Mike Fowler. Official timeout here. See Josh Caruso, the center, looking at the officials.
Now we're set to go. Darius brings him up.
Somebody
got
moved.
motion on the line.
I think Clint Badaris' hard count was so good his own guys moved.
And it is a illegal procedure against the Huskies, so it'll be 2nd down and 13 now as the ball will be marked back to the 18-yard line.
Those little penalties are the kind of going to give Mark Badaris.
Especially in a red zone like this. Shifting on the line are the Bulldogs. They give it to Badaris up the middle. It's Ty Badaris, the fullback. Doesn't get much, maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 at the 17-yard line. See, they got good penetration there on this play.
They're doing a job defending the option. Guess when you have a week to prepare for certain assignments like that, you better stick with them.
Luke Nickel on the stop there on that last play. Now they go to Badaris up the middle, big opening, 10, and he's close to the 1st down at about the 6-yard line. Big opening up the middle there, he gained 11.
This is going to be close. 4th down.
4th and a yard. Ball just outside the 6-yard line. They need to get it right to the 5. Big opening up the middle, big block right in the center there. Looked like Kerry Harvey had that big seal block in the middle there, the left guard for the Huskies. They'll go for it. And they go right up the middle. They're close to the 1st down. Let's see at the spot. They had to get right to the line.
Well, they got over the 5. So if they just had to get to the 5, it's going to be a 1st down. And it is.
It is. So 1st and goal for the Huskies.
Well, they needed 1, and they got exactly 1. Ty Badaris.
Got tripped up there. I'm sure he thought he was going to have it easily. He was probably thinking about scoring there, and somebody down low clipped his ankle. But he fell right on the yard to gain. Stay in the eye. They run the option to left. This is Clint Badaris, the quarterback. Close. Down to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
I'll tell you what, he's not very big. People don't realize that the quarterback is 5'10". Follows his brother. Brother kicks out to the outside. Clint tucks it back in.
And they jumped offside here. The play gets off, but it's a dead ball because the left side of the defense jumped offside there.
So 1-yard penalty is all that's going to be, half the distance.
Snap. Encroachment, defense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat the down.
Football, you can see, is almost touching the goal line. That's how close it is.
Mark Badaris there, the head coach of Florence, looking on. And it is the quarterback, Clint Badaris, right up the middle. Quarterback sneak into the end zone for the touchdown. I guess I just took the drum. I don't know what the big holdup was, Joe. Looked pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, there was the official on the near side called it right away, but nobody else did.
Nobody else saw it, and he was down here in the corner, and none of the fans really saw him throw up the arms.
That's 21, well, 20 first quarter points now. So much for the 7-6 theory. Well, they sure take a lot of time on this extra point.
Jeremy Young is the kicker for the Huskies. Good snap. And he whipped it off to the right, kind of shanked that one, no good. So 4:34 to go. First quarter, Florence 13, Palisade 7 on CNM Sports. Pregame brought to you by Last Mile Estates, Housing Development, Lippis Excavating, and the Fremont School District RE2. That was kind of a low-key drive after what we've had so far in this game, the 2 big long touchdown runs. Thing is, it was a long drive in play sense, Joe, but only had to go 15 yards. They used it all up there.
Well, you get the big play on the bad snap. Sets up a nifty scoring drive for the Huskies.
6 plays, 15 yards. This is Groh taking the kick at the 13, right up the middle. Cuts it into the wedge, out to about the 35-yard line. Good kickoff return there for Eli Groh. Decent field position for the Bulldogs. And now time for their offense to answer. They were on thin ice that entire last possession. Remember, they had a fumbled exchange, had a big holding penalty go against them, and then culminated with the high snap on special teams.
Well, we've seen them, too. They have the quick strike capabilities.
Groh split wide to the left, and they go right up the middle. 2 bounds. Bounds across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Picks up 7 on a little harmless little dive play. 2nd down and 3.
Now, I was just wondering, does Travis Bounds lose the yardage on the punt because he was the man in the back he was the closest man?
Well, I would think it'd be team yardage.
Well,
I don't know. You got to give it to somebody.
We don't
though.
do team yardage in high school, I don't think. And
I guess it'd have to be him.
Sorry,
that's going to hurt him.
30. Loses 30.
So much for being a 2,000-yard rusher. And at that rate. Here's Harris rolling to left. Nice flip to Bounds. Down the sideline, puts his head down. He likes to take on the safeties and the cornerbacks. Fearless as he is inside the 45 down to about the 41-yard line. Maybe the 40 where they're actually going to spot it. Picks up 18 on the play. Watch him take on this safety man right here.
Well, Travis Bounds isn't the kind of guy that's going to try and duck out of the way or go to the outside. He's just going to bury his shoulder pads. He's an impressive kid, isn't he?
He is. He is. That's the type of guy you're used to seeing at fullback with all that speed. Here is the Britton, the tailback, and they stuff him. So he gets it across the 40 to about the 39. Picks up a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9.
Well, Kyle Britton, if you'll remember, he left last week's game with a rib injury.
Cracked rib, right?
Yeah, and didn't play most of the 3 quarters of that. So you know Florence is well aware of his ribs, as you can see right there with the shots they're taking at him with the football. But he doesn't look worse for wear.
No, he looked all right there.
The only thing it may hurt is he may be out of breath or something.
And they go right up the middle. Not much there. They go to Bounds. Picks up a yard on the play. We'll give him 3rd down and 8 rather coming up. 3rd and 8. Give it to them on that quick little dive. They go through with all their action, faking the pitch.
And then you hear the crowd, they get excited when you stop them to 3 yards. It's a big deal.
I got all these portable bleachers in here, making a lot of racket here at Palmer Field. 3rd and 8. That's Groh in motion. Now he holds up. Play action, rolling to the right, looking downfield, and it's off the hands of the intended receiver, Bounds. So it's obvious they want to get it into the hands of Bounds as much as possible, and who wouldn't with a 2,000-yard rusher like he is. Brings up 4th down now. Do you play field position? I don't think so. And with this game is shaping up, Joe, you need a lot of points. Any chance you've got in the opponent's territory, you might want to just try to ring it up.
Travis Bounds, I believe, is their punter as well.
They do set up as if they're going to go for it here. Rolling to his right is Harris. They're going to set up the screen back this way, and they throw it away. It sails high over the bench area and almost into the stands. So the Florence defense holds.
Boy, it's like you can almost hear them exhale. The entire stadium just let it out.
They had that screen, and here it goes, sailing over everybody.
Fan didn't even make the play there.
So the Florence offense takes over. I don't know if we ever set the Florence offense and Palisade defense. We might have to look into that here. They scored on that first play from scrimmage earlier.
Oh my!
This is the quarterback, Clint Baderis. He's out close to a first down as he is out near the 48-yard line. They're going to stop the clock here and take a look, perhaps measure here.
I think he got it by a yard. He got it by a yard there, Jimmy.
So 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here are the lineups for the Florence offense.
Well, a timeout on the field.
Got a timeout on the field here as they talk things over.
Let us catch our breath a little bit.
Well, you just see the fans ringing this field. Here are the lineups for Florence on offense. That's actually their defense there, so we'll re-rack that. So if you're just joining us on our live telecast in the Fremont County area on Channel 19, first two possessions of the ball game, it only took, I don't know what's wrong with Palisade, took them 3 plays to get it in on their first possession.
Florence went on 1.
Bounce 60-yard run. Then on the first play from scrimmage for the Huskies, Haynes took it 71 yards. So 1st and 10 for the Huskies. And they give it to Baderis right up the middle. Ty Baderis, short yardage, maybe a yard on the play. He's 2nd down and 9 from the 49.
You got to give him 1 because he fell forward, but there was a whole lot of nothing in the middle.
Here we go. Florence on offense. They'll go this way. Cermak, Harvey, Caruso, Carpillo, and Slack on the front line. St. Laurent, Crowfoot, and Young are your receivers. And the backs, of course, Baderis, and Haynes. Take a look at the Palisade defense after this next play. Here's Haynes on the left side on the option. Flag is down. We got a hold. That looked pretty obvious to me.
We're going to get a hold on Zach Crowfoot, the tight end, trying to seal that side over there on the far side of the field, the direction which the play was going, and he had a handful of Palisade jersey.
Flag came in immediately. So now decision time for Palisade, much as Florence had the decision earlier. Do you make it 3rd down and 10 or 2nd and 20?
I think you move them back. We'll hear what they do.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
And they do take it. That brings up 2nd down and 20. Two receivers to the right. Gonna roll to the right. Baderis in trouble now, tries to flip it to Haynes, and a pass incomplete. He had to get rid of that. He was under heavy pressure.
Unfortunately, Rafael was wide open. He was, if he could have connected on that pass, because the outside backer that was on Mike Haynes' responsibility kind of cut up toward the quarterback. Because see right there, both of the defenders went toward the quarterback. Whoever had running back contained didn't, and that could have went for big yardage.
That could have been. But when you're under duress, you got to float that ball up over him. 3rd down and 20. Shotgun formation. Clint Baderis under pressure and under heavy pressure fumbles the football. It's picked up though by his brother, and he loses big yardage. So Clint Baderis lost control of it. Ty was there to scoop it up, but he ends up losing about 8 on the play. Here's Palisade's defense. Popick, Nickel, DeProso, Phelps, Easterbrook, Bounds, and Stauffer are the linebackers. Britton, Harris, and Groh are the cornerbacks. Punt formation. As both star running backs are the punters in this game. Ty Baderis to punt it away. Groh back deep to receive, along with Dustin Harris. Long count as they get everything straight here.
Almost too long here.
Good snap. And Medeiros gets a booming kick out of there. Taken at the 31. Nice breaking tackle. There's Harris, but then he goes down. Thought he was going to get away there, but he ended up slipping at the 32-yard line.
Excellent punt. Great punt coverage for the Florence Huskies. Excellent punt coverage.
So still 12 seconds to go here. And what seems to have been a long first quarter, but a lot of action. Had a few penalties mixed in.
And a lot of scoring.
Passing game hasn't been real efficient by either team, so they've had some incompletions. And they run the draw play up the middle to Britton. And he gets it out around the 35-yard line. Maybe 3 on the play. And that will be the final play of the first quarter play. It's been an exciting one. The state 3A championship game so far belongs to the Florence Huskies. They lead it 13-7 over the Bulldogs of Palisade on C&M Sports. Today's game brought to you by Canyon Rental, Domino's Pizza, well, great action so far in this ball game. Joe, finally the defenses have come up big on the last 2 possessions, both defenses stopping the other. We knew Florence had a good defense. Palisade throughout the year, I think it's just a case their offense has overshadowed their defense. There's a good unit also.
Oh, I think so. And I saw with what they did against Pueblo County last week. Pueblo County, they stuffed the run, stuffed the option. Pueblo County went to that 5 wide we'd seen. They were prepared for it, and they defended it.
So 2nd and 7 now at the 35-yard line for the Bulldogs. Harris brings them up. Run the option to left, give it to Bounds up the middle, and he is hit and they stuff him, but he continues to fight. Fights for 3 yards on the play. 3rd down and 4 from the 38-yard line for the Bulldogs.
You see right here, that's a collision you don't want to be in the middle of between Travis Bounds and Zach Crowfoot. Number 23 from Palisade, number 48, middle linebacker. You see right here from Florence. That's a collision you just don't want any part of. It's one of those machines where you put a penny in there and it'll flatten out between those 2.
3rd and 4. And motion to the right guard.
Well, Matt Popik's going to log some airtime now, and I'm not exactly sure this is the kind of airtime he wanted to log, because that'll be a 1st down.
Boy, he fired out of there, didn't he? He was looking for a linebacker to pick off.
Repeat the down.
So instead of 3rd and 4, it brings up 3rd down and 9 from the 33-yard line.
Matt Popik, the right guard. He knew where he was going.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get there a little bit sooner than everybody else.
Moore and Gross split wide to the right. Play action. They look for the tight end down the middle. Oh, almost intercepted. There was Crowfoot. They were trying to get it to the tight end, Victor Green. A little pop pass over the middle, and Crowfoot was very wise to that one.
I think every coach on the Florence sideline was yelling at that play. Watch the pop pass. Watch the tight end.
You see Crowfoot just spying the quarterback, and he jumps right up and got it.
Plus, he's not little.
That was open down the middle, too. If he doesn't deflect that, Green is off to the races. And punt is hit straight up. Terrible punt. It's going to take a Bulldog bounce at least. It goes out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. Ends up getting about 14 yards on the punt. Very fortunate that they got that much. That thing was just hit straight up and off to the right.
That's a punt you need when you're trying to pooch punt it, not trying to boom it.
So they'll mark it at the 47-yard line of the Bulldogs. So the Huskies, with good field position here, already leading in the ball game with 11 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, 13-7. Up the middle. That's Ty Medeiros. He's across the 45 to about the 44-yard line. Pick up a 3. Be 2nd down and 7. Straight little give.
I like the rhythm that the Buderis brothers get in. Keep it, give it, keep it, give it. Sometimes I think Ty just takes it away.
Yeah.
He's a little bigger than his bigger brother, Clint.
This time they go to Haynes on the counterplay, and the little man just dives up through the hole there, just kind of squirted through there like he was hiding behind the lineman. Well, got it inside the 40 down to about the 39.
And he outrun his blockers. He got down there, and his blockers weren't there yet.
Yeah, he just didn't have the patience here.
See, the wall's starting to set up, and he's already through the hole, but the next hole's not there yet.
So 3rd down and 2. And they run the option. They've got him snowed under, but Clint manages to fight forward back to the line of scrimmage. But he'll be short of the 1st down. He'll be short by 2 yards. That play just had trouble getting off there, it seemed like. Clint Buderis took the snap, but then was hung up here.
Well, it's a great play by number 54, Mike Bernal from Palisade. Does a great job pulling down from the backside. Matt Popick, who just got in trouble on the offense, did a good job from the back. Have a timeout on it.
Florence going to take a timeout to talk over this 4th down call here. As they face a 4th down and 2 with 9:32 to go in the 2nd quarter. Florence leads at 13-7 over Palisade on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Quick Stop Incorporated, City Market and Pharmacy, and Balco Concrete. Back at Palmer Field, the Florence Huskies face a key 4th down and 2 call right here from the 39-yard line.
Look for the hard count here by Clint Buderis. He's done it all game long. Nope, straight. First down.
Play action. He's going to roll to the left. Looks downfield and he's hit. Ball's loose. Fumbled on the play and it is recovered by Florence.
And for a 1st down. He not only did Florence recover, he recovered for a 1st down.
And it is a 1st down at the 35-yard line. Very fortunate there.
Adam Cermak on the play. Boy, that's a home field bounce right there.
There you see it again. He's hit right as he was trying to cock that ball and throw it. Came loose. And Cermak, Johnny on the spot at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 to keep the drive alive.
Holy cow, that was an unbelievable play. Kind of like being a lineman in the right place at the right time on that one.
And quarterback sneak for Clint Buderis. Down to about the 32-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Well, so far, the bounces and the breaks in this game have definitely gone to Florence. Just a question now for Palisade, do they even out as this game goes on? But so far, the bounces have gone against them.
Well, and the thing about that, had they even not recovered that one, well, it was 4th down anyway, so, but yes, the bounces have gone their way.
Long count, and they give it to Ty up the middle. And not much there. Palisade defense been tough in the middle.
It's
Joe
like
and I were talking before the ball game.
Yeah.
You talked about County last week against Palisade. Had a size advantage, but didn't seem to matter. Palisade was stingy up the middle.
Well, you can tell they're well coached, Palisade. They move to the side that they think the play's run, and so far they've guessed correctly. I think when you see Clint Buderis take off, it's because he sees something in the defense.
3rd down and a long 5. Little in pattern, and it's complete for the 1st down. Hit Brandon St. Laurent. That's his favorite receiver as far as a wide receiver, and he's down to about the 20-yard line. Picks up 11. Nice little, skinny post, quick post.
Again, that's the defender, number 6. That's your quarterback, Dustin Harris, playing safety. So far off the ball, Eli Grohl, the other cornerback, they're giving him 6 or 7 yards in that cushion coverage.
Play action. Rolling to his right. It's a corner pattern to the
Wide
end
open.
zone, incomplete. Trying to get it to Justin Young, who was open over there, but the pass sailed a little too far.
And Clint Medeiros, he had to jump 15 feet in disgust after letting that ball go because he knew he had him. That was the right play, the right coverage, and he just overthrew his man.
So 2nd and 10 from the 20.
They do that in practice every day, every day. See the receiver trying to run under the ball. That's Justin Young. Just out through the coverage.
Saw Tyler Barnes there. He knew he was beat. He just turned into a spectator for the Bulldogs. Run the option to the right. Medeiros keeps a nice little move there. Nice cut into the middle of the field. He'll score! Great cut by Clint Medeiros as he rams it on into the end zone. Boy, initially it looked like Palisade had that well defense, Joe, but it was just a great cut by Clint Medeiros against the grain. There you see, that's right
Again,
there.
that's all Reed right there. Then he takes it back, then he cuts it right back up, and by the time he cuts it up, the defense is already over pursued.
Now, let's see if Florence goes for 2 here. They're in their different formation here. They can do a lot of different things out of this. And they will go for 2. They hand it off up the middle, and it is close, and it is in. Snap it and hand it to Ty Medeiros, and Medeiros runs it in. So, 7:42 to go. Second quarter. Florence 21, Palisade 7 on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Del Myers, Canyon Concrete, and Morelli Consulting. Well, they take advantage of the break due to the Florence Huskies, the break being the fumble on the 4th down play. They were able to recover it for the 1st down, and they end up moving it on into the end zone. Also, you got to look, they took advantage of the short punt. Their drives at the 57-yard line. One thing about that 2-point play, Joe, I don't know if we'll get another look at it. I thought, just to the my eye, it looked like Clint Medeiros was in motion, moving forward at the snap.
Well, and they did the side hike. It was just like you're playing on the street. It was a little side hike.
I thought he had the little forward lean going. That he got away with one. Short kick.
Oh,
taken
my.
by Phelps. Up the middle, big opening. And he's out across midfield to about the 49-yard line of the Huskies. You don't expect something like that to the short man, but Chance Phelps, he wears 88 for a reason. He's got a little speed. He plays wide receiver.
Starts at outside linebacker, so you know he's got the quickness.
So now Palisade with the short field to operate on as they're in plus territory at the 49-yard line of the Huskies. Harris brings him up. He's going to roll to his right, and there's a little holding in the middle there, no call. You can hear the fans to the below us here yelling holding. I saw somebody grab a hold of the man blitzing up the middle, more or less just jerked him down by the jersey. But it ends up being a big gain for Dustin Harris. Hey, it's a championship ball game. You're going to swallow that flag once in a while.
Going to give him 9 on the play. I thought they'd give him the 1st down.
Let's see if we can see the hold right here, Joe. Right in the middle of your screen. Right there is where it was, but it now leaves our screen, our vision. But that was the man right there that was held up. There's a fistful of jersey. 2nd down and a yard. And Pounds takes it up the middle. Flying in there was Crowfoot. Here comes a late flag in there.
I mean, you might have a face mask here inadvertently.
Bounds picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, and it is a face mask.
So 3-yard gain and then tack on the, actually a 2-yard gain looks like, and then tack on the 5-yard penalty. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Those fans below us a little irate. They saw what I saw, Joe. There was the face mask right there. It was Crowfoot who flew in there and had a hold of the face mask. He's lucky he didn't get 15 yards on that play. They go from the I formation. Quick pitch to the left side.
Britton.
This is Britton, and he is thrown down for a loss.
That's a great play by Stephen Bergant. Great play by Stephen
on
Bergant.
the play here for the Bulldogs. I'd imagine it was one of the linemen who was pulling out to block.
I can't see, is that tight end Victor Green? Again, this is just a straight toss play, and look at Stephen Bergant, number 43 from Florence. Does a great job from his outside linebacker position blowing that play up. No gain on the play.
Actually lost yards on the play, lost about 5.
I guess he did, didn't he?
Well, silence over the stadium here is trying to see who is injured there. I imagine it's one of the big linemen.
That is Victor Green.
Victor Green, the tight end.
Or 72. He got kind of mangled up in there a little bit. He was trying to block the outside linebacker.
And Palisade now is going to take a timeout as they want to talk things over here as they face a 2nd down and 15 call. We'll take a timeout with them. 6:14 to go in the first half. 21-7 Florence on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Last Mile Estates, Lippis Excavating, and Fremont School District RE2. Well, pace of things is kind of slowed down a bit here after it's got to slow down after you score on the first 2 possessions of the ball game, but the game kind of settling in here. Palisade now facing a crucial 2nd and 15 call. I guess it wouldn't be crucial on 2nd down, but crucial series of downs here, Joe. I think they need to get some points on the board to try to keep up with this offense of Florence.
Talking to some of our crew, they were excited. They had 2 running teams today. I said the bad thing is they may score 80 points between them. That takes longer than a 6-0 game.
2nd and 15. That's Grow in motion toward the formation. Kind of jogs it in there. Might run a reverse to him here. They fake the counter. Rolling to the right, looking to the corner pattern, and it is almost intercepted. The closest man to it there for Florence was Jarrett Saul. They were trying to get the pass down there to Luke Nickel.
Steven Sakari does a great job on from his free safety position, coming over, help out, back and playing kind of the center field position.
Nickel is the reserve tight end. He's who came into the ballgame for Victor Green, so they tried to sneak him into the secondary there. It's now 3rd and 15. Facing the Bulldogs. Again, they'll split Grow wide to the right. He's now set. Now they're going to get that direct snap thing here. Here's Bounds around the left side. Has a little convoy, but look at Crowfoot come over there and blow that play up. Zach Crowfoot. He is all over the place. He just flew in there and destroyed that play.
3 yards for our good friend Travis Bounds, and he's now carried the ball 9 times for 50 yards is all. By this time last week, he was 135 yards and 3 touchdowns into the football game.
Now Palisade, they're going to take another timeout here as they face 4th down and 12.
Look at Zach Crowfoot right there. You see, gets in again. Stephen Bergant from the outside linebacker does a great job. We've said that about this team. Good outside linebackers.
Timeout on the field, 6:02 to go. 2nd quarter, it's Florence 21, Palisade 7 on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Canyon Rental and Domino's Pizza. Canyon Rental providing a lot of the things we have here, a lot of the equipment we're using for the game, and Domino's, of course, feeding us before the ball game.
Our crew and Guys in the truck, they all might be eating right now, laughing as we're up on scaffolding. Take care of your guys up here.
You know, we kind of looked at this when we got here, but we're getting some great angles today.
Right.
I'm loving these low looks that we're getting
send pizza
almost down at
at
field level.
Send pizza and pop at halftime.
4th down and 12 for the Bulldogs. Here it comes Harris rolling to his right, sets, launches it toward the corner of the end zone to Grow, and it is intercepted. Intercepted at the 1-yard line. Well, maybe he'd been better off just dropping the ball there, but it's hard to tell a defensive back just bat it down. So what it ends up being is like a coffin corner punt at the 1-yard line. You see Josh Schote, who had the interception.
Let's go down to Kent and
let's go down to Kent McKinney on the field with this report.
All right, number 37, Victor Green, took a pretty good shot to the mouth. He's got a split lip, but the coach says he's all right. He'll go back in the next time. Back to you guys.
All right, Kent, thanks a lot. Kent McKinney working the sidelines for us here tonight, or today. See the interception again by Schote.
you know, you almost wish he'd just knock it down, but you can't, like you said, you can't tell him to knock it down.
Here on the 1st and 10 from the 1-yard line. Well, let's just say give it to Ty Baderas up the middle. So it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 2. And you see that's a shot from a high angle perch in our lift in the end zone.
It'd be fun to watch a game from up there.
Bird's eye view. Run the option to the right. Clint Baderas keeps it. Gets it out to about the 5-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Huskies.
I'll tell you, you get these Baderases mixed up.
They might as well just quit saying Baderas and just say Clint and Ty all day long.
You know, that might be a bad idea. Again, that interception may be the best thing that's happened to Palisade in almost a half.
3rd and 6. In the end zone. One of the old corner patted incomplete. Almost had Crowfoot.
That was a great play on all sides.
Well, he passed by Clint was in the one place it could either it's going to be caught or it's going to be incomplete. He had to loft it over the linebacker or the safety there.
That's Dustin Harris, the quarterback. Again, the only guy really in the pattern is Crowfoot. Throws it into double coverage, and the ball was there. That's a tough catch though, falling away like that.
So 4th down and 6. Ty Baderas into punt it away. Stands about a yard or 2 from the back line. And almost blocked. Decent punt. Fair catch is signaled for and taken at the 36-yard line for Palisade by Dustin Harris, the quarterback.
You know, that's not a bad punt under those circumstances.
31-yarder. So.
Well, you hope your defense can hold them for 4:24 left in the first half.
You know what they end up losing out of all that, Joe's about a yard in field position on the exchange, on the interception and the punt. Remember, it was 4th down.
That's right.
From the 35. Now they have 1st and 10 from the 36, so they're a little better off. They run the draw play. This is Britton. Has a big opening. He's got the corner turn. He's inside the 20. Nice move there. 10, 5, touchdown. What a run.
Kyle Britton, cracked ribs and all.
The sophomore. Kept waiting for him to either run out of bounds or get tripped up. He just kept churning those legs, Joe, and once he finally broke that last tackle at about the 15, he was in. So the Bulldogs take advantage of their excellent field position. That'll be Jesse Weidgren in. And he adds the extra point. 4:12 to go. First half, our score, it is Florence 21, Palisade 14 on C&M Sports. Today's game brought to you by Del Myers, Canyon Concrete, and Morelli Consulting. A little worm's eye view right there, Joe.
That's what you feel like when you're at the bottom of the pile getting kneed by an opponent saying, take that, take that. Get some dirt in your face.
Well, we knew coming into this ball game the Stars were going to be Bounds for Palisade and, of course, Ty Baderas for Florence, but it's been those other two guys in the backfield that provide the big runs in this game. Kyle Britton for Palisade and, of course, Mike Haynes for Florence.
The supporting.
And a kick off to the left side. It's going to sail out of bounds. So Florence will get good field position at the 35-yard line. If they elect to take the penalty, they may want them to kick it over again. Let's see. I think they'll just take the good field position.
I think I would too. Again, this is something that some of the players of County last week, Public County talked about. You get up and instead of playing to win and put somebody away, you get back on your heels a little bit. And you start playing not to lose, and I'd hate for Florence to start to do that. I'd like to see them stay aggressive, do what they've done thus far, especially on offense.
Yeah, they're going to spread the formation here. Could this be their version of the zoo from Central? They go to 3 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right, and they just snap it to Clint, and he just runs it up in there.
That's going to come back, though. There's a hold trailing the play.
Yeah, right back in the middle of the field at the 36-yard line is where the flag is.
Yeah, that's going to come back.
And the typical comment from the fans. Usually you hear that most of the time at a basketball game.
That's right.
Call it both ways.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
So basically a yard gain for Clinton, then mark off the 10-yard penalty. Brings up 1st and 19 now from the 26-yard line.
You know, I think it's an honor for these officials. This group is out of Denver. You know, to do a state championship game means that you're the best in your field, and I think they've done an excellent job today. Victor Green, who went out with an injury, replaces Matt Popnik, who just went out with an injury.
That's good to see Victor back in there under full speed. He really sprinted out there to the huddle. Actually, right to the line of scrimmage. Play action. They're going to run this little sweep play, a little counter sweep by the quarterback, Clint Baderas, and he gets it out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Picks up 6 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 13 now from the 32-yard line. Clock rolling, 3:40 to go here in the second quarter. 21-14, Florence on top.
It's been a long half.
It has been. You see just basically that play, you fake it to the back and look for the big opening. Well, there they go, that 4 wide formation again. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Gonna sprint out. Now they run the screen to Haynes. Naked screen, he's out around the 40. Actually gonna mark him at the 41-yard line. Pick up a 9 on the play, so a good play there.
Give him the 41.
Not really a screen, it's just a little out pattern by the, actually isn't a back, he's just playing in the slot.
Again, I think that all these plays are predicated on setting something else up, you know. You set up the run, you widen it out, and then you throw that little dump pass. And we've seen Mike Haynes' speed already this game early in the first half, well, on one play anyway.
3rd and a long 3 or a short 4, however you want to look at it. Officially, it'd be 4. And here's the pass down the middle. Haynes is wide open. 30, 20, 10, touchdown!
59 yards.
You just had Haynes lined up in the slot. Couple little play action fakes, and Baderas just turned and rifled it over the middle, and Haynes was wide open to the delight of the partisan fans here at Florence.
59-yard touchdown. So much for conservative play calling. Excellent play. And watch the speed of Mike Haynes as he beats the defenders all the way to the end zone. Alex Swanson had no chance.
Pass was actually a little bit behind him if you want to be picky, but Haynes did a good job of adjusting, allowing the ball to get to him, and then he just off to the races. Good snap, and a kick is no good. It is hooked to the left this time. 3:03 to go, first half. Florence leads it 27-14 over the Bulldogs of Palisade on CNN Sports. Today's state championship game brought to you by Last Mile Estates, Lippis Excavating, and Fremont School District RE2. I mentioned it just a little while ago, Joe. The stars coming in. We're going to be Bounds and Baderas, but it's been that little man Haynes who's really been the difference in this game so far for Florence.
Well, you look at his 2 plays. He has a 71-yard touchdown run and a 59-yard touchdown reception.
Well, it didn't take him long to answer the score. Minute 9 to be exact.
The thing I like about Mike Haynes is he is such a great compliment to Clint and Ty. You know, they're the bruisers, tough, go, go, go. Mike Haynes just gives them that burst.
Justin Young to kick it off for the Huskies. It's a low squibber. It's picked up by that speed merchant, backup tight end. This time Chance Phelps doesn't get as much. Remember the last kickoff, he returned out across midfield, but this time doesn't get much at all as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Now we're well on our way to what we thought would be 80 points today. 41 so far. We're halfway home.
And I'm thinking both defenses are playing pretty good. It's a big play, though. It's a quick strike.
Run the draw play. Here's Britton. Lunges out to about the 35-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play.
You wonder if Palisade might be getting away from Travis Bounds a little too much. He didn't carry the ball much at all in the second quarter.
They go to the no-huddle offense here. This time, sprinting to the left. Nobody open. Now he'll keep it and hit from behind.
That's a great play by defensive end Jeff Smith. Excellent play.
Dustin Harris goes down in a heap. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 5 from the 35. Again, Palisade goes with no huddle. This could be dangerous here if you don't pick up the first down and leave a lot of time on the clock. Now they give it up the middle to Bounds, and he doesn't get the first down. He's only to about the 39-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and a yard. Now they stop the clock.
He got a better spot than I thought he was going to get. And they're going to measure this one. Again, Travis Bounds is your go-to guy, and he's only got 10 carries in the first half. That was his 10th carry of the half. See what the measurement looks like.
Yeah, my apologies. I was off a yard. Forgive me for my angle here, Joe.
No problem. Again, but you look at a guy like Travis Bounds and you think they have him, and they do, and then you look up and it's 5 yards down the field.
Well, inside of 2 minutes as the clock runs, as they set the chains. 1:55 to go to be exact. Here's Harris rolling to his right. He's got a big opening. He likes to pass it downfield, complete. This is Jake Moore on the sideline, and he has run out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Stops the clock and gets Palisade a new set of downs with 1:47 to go in the first half.
Come on, defense, go!
Pickup of 18 on the play. Well, just because the clock stops, they still go to the no huddle, and they come right up to the line of scrimmage. Run the draw play to Britton, and he is snowed under by Crowfoot. Crowfoot is having a heck of a ball game, and he lets him know about it there. Not so much, I don't know if he said anything, but just his body language. Loss of about 4 on the play. Second down and 14 from the 47-yard line. They give it to Bounds up the middle, breaks a tackle, almost broke free. Somebody had him by the ankle there. And I think it was Levi Espinoza who had Bounds by the ankle. Desperation as he was holding on. Picked up 9. Third down. I think 5. Clock rolls with a minute to go. Rolling to the right. Harris has his man open to the flat. It is complete. And down the sideline to about the 27-yard line. They keep the clock running. They got to stop it because it's a first down. And there they do stop it. As that's Victor Green on the catch. He juggled it for a moment.
Gets 11 on that.
And they just spike it with 46 seconds to go. It'll be second down and 10.
Interesting now, I think Palisade's done a good job here. Clock management, no timeouts. They burned all their timeouts early in the second quarter, Ian Brammer. They've done a good job of marching down the field. Only 46 seconds left. They've run the football.
Second down and 10 from the 26-yard line. And they fake the reverse. Look down the sideline, incomplete. Actually went toward the end zone looking for Eli Groh. He had also Victor Green down along the sideline. He was well covered as well. More or less a case where Harris was just getting rid of it.
Nice zone coverage by the Florence secondary, keeping everything in front of you. Steven Sakari playing playing the deep middle in that cover too. You just hope he's a good center fielder.
Third and 10 for the Bulldogs. Britton in motion to the left. Haynes picks him up. Fake the draw. Go over the middle, and his incomplete flag's coming. That's interference.
Josh Choate going to be called for pass interference. Both officials saw it.
I thought it was a good call. The fans here don't like it, but Choate was there a little too soon, it looked like. Coming over the top. We'll get a look at it here. We'll see if we can calm everybody down around us here, Joe.
Well, they both called it.
Pass interference. Defense. Half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
Just looking at it, I thought Choate was there too early. Here's the replay. Yeah, tough to see from there, but you saw the official right in the background. He was definitely reaching for the flag right away. Quick pitch to the left side. Here's Britton. Has a block. Now trying to turn the corner. He's just hiding behind one of his linemen. Down inside the 10 to about the 7. Here comes a flag in.
That looked like an illegal block on number 51 from Palisade, Eric Easterbrook, their outstanding middle linebacker.
What you hate about it for a Palisade standpoint is so late in the play, but it was definitely there. It looked pretty obvious. Dead ball, maybe just a personal foul.
Personal foul, late hit. White.
And that's on Eric Easterbrook.
Well, you could have called it illegal block, but since it was a dead ball, then it was just unnecessary roughness.
He doesn't play offense all that often. And
Let's see if we can see it here. There it is right there. Plays over, and then he just comes in and blasts somebody.
yeah. Zach Crowfoot is who he got.
Now, second down. And they moved too early as Victor Green, the tight end, took off too soon. So Palisade self-destructing here with 23 seconds to go.
They just keep moving back instead of forward. They had a ball all the way down to the 5-yard line. .23 seconds to go, and no timeouts, and they're at the Florence 26-yard line where they were just a few plays ago.
Play action. Now they just get it to Britton out on the right side. Tries to turn the corner, and he's down at the 20-yard line. 10 seconds to go. They got to line up and spike this thing. 5 seconds to go now. They get set. And they will not get it off as time has expired. Time has expired. It's halftime from Palmer Field in Florence, Colorado, and the home team is on top. The Florence Huskies lead it 27-14 over the Palisade Bulldogs on CNN Sports. Today's state championship game brought to you by Quick Stop Incorporated, City Market, Balco Concrete, Del Myers, Canyon Concrete, Morelli Consulting, Last Mile Estates, Lippis Excavating, Fremont School District RE2, Canyon Rental, and Domino's. Halftime at Palmer Field, 27-14. Florence leading the Palisade Bulldogs. Hope to get an interview, maybe? Maybe not. Nope. So it's halftime from Palmer Field, 27-14. Florence on top of Palisade on CNN Sports.
What's up, guys?
Today's 3A state championship game brought to you by Quick Stop Incorporated, City Market and Pharmacy, Balco Concrete, Del Myers, Canyon Concrete, Morelli Consulting, Last Mile Estates, Lippis Excavating, Fremont School District RE2, Canyon Rental, and Domino's. Back at Palmer Field, it is halftime, 27-14. Florence on top. Palisade scored first in this ball game. Actually led the game 7-0. Florence roared back with 21 in a row. Palisade then cut it to 21-14 before Florence made it 27-14 at halftime. It's been a game dominated by big plays, not a lot of long scoring drives. Let's go down to the field right now. Kent McKinney has this interview for us. Go ahead, Kent.
All right, Coach, you had a pretty good first half. Last week, the Palisades came back in the fourth quarter. What did you guys tell the team to get prepared for that?
Well, you know, we got to go out and we got to play better the second half. I think the key is we got to take the ball and drive it and get lots of first downs and keep them off the field.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Head coach Mark Vidaris of Florence. Now let's see. Start the second half here.
With the
Florence
ball.
will get the ball first. Remember, Palisade won the opening coin toss and elected to receive.
Well, it turned out to be a good decision.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers. They're skewed a bit, but pretty even for the most part.
And the reason why we say they're skewed is because there's a couple of plays in there. There was a minus 30 yards on a Palisade punt but Travis Bounds is their punter, so you almost have to give him the minus yards. If that's the case, he only has 64 yards rushing. But if you look at those halftime stats, the only thing that stands out is that turnover, and that didn't help either team. So fairly even first half. I think Florence's defense, as we said in the open, was going to be the key, and so far so good for the Florence Huskies, especially defensively.
Yeah, their defense has come up with more stops on the afternoon. Jesse Wydgren to kick it off for the Bulldogs, and he hooks it over to the left corner, and it goes out of bounds. Boy, we've had a lot of that today. Neither team, both teams fearing the return game of each other's opposition, so they're kicking it, trying to get the angles, and they end up kicking it out of bounds.
Well, the last thing you want to do is come out of the halftime locker room, give up a kick return for a touchdown or for big yardage. That just sucked the life right out of you. Then again, he kicked that one almost dead left. He kind of bull hooked it. Looks like my tee shot.
There you go.
Starts out really good for the first 10 yards.
You got to accelerate and get those legs through, Joe. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for Florence as we get underway in the second half of the State 3A Championship game. Looked like a mix-up there, but Badaris just went ahead and kept it. Looked like the action went right. He went to fake the handoff to somebody. Nobody was there, so he said, well, I'll just run it through that hole. He picks up 5. Pretty good for a busted play.
He's pretty talented little quarterback. He's a senior. Been waiting for this a long time. But you look, he's not very big, you know, size-wise, 5'10", but he's 200 pounds.
Yeah, he's thick.
He's pretty thick. There's his brother. Sorry about that.
Tie up the middle for about 3. Haven't really seen those big openings yet today for Ty Badaris.
Again, we heard briefly from Mark Badaris right after the half. They would love nothing more than a 15-play, 8-9-minute drive. Keep Travis Bounds, the ball out of Travis Bounds' hands. But you need first downs to do that. They're 2 yards short.
Haynes is the I-back. And they run the option left, and Clint keeps it. He's got the first down, spins, fights, flag comes down. I'd imagine that's got to be a face mask, wouldn't you believe?
Well, where they threw that ball.
Officials in a little embrace, getting the call. Face mask is the call.
Against the offense.
Wow.
Saying one of the blockers grabbed hold of the defender and used the face mask. That's illegal use of the hands is what that is.
So it ends up, we're going to almost replay third down again. It's just going to be a little bit longer. Still 3rd and 2, but a longer 2.
Again, sometimes when you block like that, you get a hold of the face mask and
don't let go.
Yeah. Can't do that on offense either, guys.
Well, once again, 3rd and 2. And they fake it up the middle, and now it's going to cost them as they don't get the first down as Clint is thrown down.
He got one of those back, but
he's going to fake it up the middle to Ty and then follow him into the hole, but
there was no hole.
Palisade was ready, so it's 4th down and 2. Got to punt it away, I'd imagine.
Well, that's not the way you want to start the second half.
So Dustin Harris goes deep to receive the punt from Ty Badaris, who doubles up as the punter as well as playing fullback. Special teams have been an adventure today. Not so much for Florence, and they get a good snap and a booming kick. Back to around the 10-yard line, and Harris is tripped up by Mike Haynes.
Mike Haynes.
In a cloud of dust at the 15-yard line. Great punt.
43 yards. No return, and Mike Haynes with the stop. Hey, somebody's bucking for player of the game honors right now. It's a little early.
A little early, a lot of things can happen.
Great stop, though.
And you see the great shoestring tackle there from Haynes.
Say they got that ball on about the 14-yard line?
14, I was hoping for guidance there. I'll take your word for it.
I'm thinking about the 14.
We'll just call it that. We'll be done with it. And they go up the middle to Bounds, and Bounds is ripped down. Boy, It's good television there, isn't it? A lot of dust flying up.
Just dirt everywhere.
A bunch of bulls battling in there. But it's a dogfight today, Joe.
Woof.
You've
been waiting to say that all day.
The Huskies and the Bulldogs. You see the tackle in the middle there. Good stop by Jeff Smith, who's played a good game as a defensive end. You don't expect to see a defensive end wearing number 28.
He's had a great game.
But in the smaller classifications, you see some things like that at times. And here is a big opening up the middle by Bounds. He's got the first down and more, breaking free out to around the 40-yard line.
21 yards on the carry for Travis Bounds.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
He's so big and strong, churns those legs. And again, that's a great play by Jared Saul from Florence, cornerback.
Quick pitch to the left side. This is Britton. Made a little cut there, but then again, it's that man. Well, the man on defense has been the player of the game is Zach Crowfoot for Florence.
Without question.
He is flying around out there.
Without
no gain on the
question.
play.
And I'm not a gambling man, but I'm saying Zach Crowfoot watched some film this week. Do you think he's been on the right play at the right time the entire game? Hits him right at the line of scrimmage. Great play there by number 48, Zach Crowfoot. I like to say in this, the 6'3", 220-pound senior.
Man, that is a specimen. Second and 10. Britton in motion to the left. Give it to Bounds up the middle, and he is hit immediately. And a good handful inside there. That's Carpillo, isn't it?
Corey Carpillo.
Gain of a couple on the play. Carpillo got a hold of him and wouldn't let go. Bounds is a hard man to contain.
Again, Corey Carpillo, one of the bigger guys. I like to say this too, 6'2", 270. Gets those big meat hooks on number 23 right there. Pulls him down for a 2-yard gain.
Funny story about him. We always try to bring my nephew Rick Ware into the conversation each week. I'll tell you what he said about this guy. Third down. Harris rolling to his left. He's in trouble. And he's blasted. Crowfoot again lights him up.
He got a little help that time by Steve Bergant. Dustin Harris might want to think twice about running the football. That was a great hit on the far side of the field.
Here it is, Joe. There you see Crowfoot tracking him.
And watch Steve Bergant and Crowfoot lift him up.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, it actually was Bergant who got the best of that one. Crowfoot just had a little extra momentum. They're going to have to punt the football away. And Bounds going to run with it. He's going to try to turn the corner. He's got to make to the 50, puts his head down, he's got the first down and more. Inside the 40, fumbles the football, but he was down, I believe. Ground cannot cause a fumble, I don't believe, in this situation. It is first and 10. Boy, it looked like a few defenders had the angle on him there, Joe, but he just put his head down, and Bounds is a great runner. He's a little woozy here, though, and he comes up limping a bit, too.
Boy, what a nice play and a nice call.
He got kind of upset there. Let's see when he gets spilled here, Joe.
21 yards on the carry.
Here we go. Let's see when he gets spilled.
He gets upended. He cuts back. Great play by number 5.
Oh, right down on the
Stevenson Carey.
Right on the neck.
Puts him over the century mark with that run.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line. They run the draw play to Britton off the left side, trying to get to the corner. They get a seal block over there, puts his head down. He's down to around the 30.
And that was, again, Zach Crowfoot coming from his linebacker spot all the way over in pursuit.
Second down and 4 from the 31.
6 yards on the carry.
Britton used the blocks here this time.
Well, they had that set up nice. You see right there, they had that whole play set up. Crowfoot does a nice job trying to blow it up from the middle linebacker spot. Got to cover a lot of ground over there if you're middle linebacker.
Second down, short 4.
Oh,
blitzes out, and there's Crowfoot again as he lights up Harris on the sideline. I'm running out of adjectives. blows him up, lights him up.
It's Christmas time. Put a star in him, he's a Christmas tree. That was a great pursuit. And he's not buying the play fake now.
Not at all.
On the roll, he's not buying the play fake.
Here's the hit again. Man, he just throws his whole body, he just hurdles his way at him.
Well, I thought Zach Crowfoot was a non-factor against Pueblo County earlier this season. He's a factor today. Travis Bounds.
Bounds up the middle. Wedges his way down to about the 30-yard line. Going to bring up 4th down. They need about 3.
I'll tell you right now, that was 4 yards. They thought they stopped him, and they got him for 4 yards. They brought in Wydrin, but I don't think they're going to kick it. They brought him in as a receiver.
They're going to go for it here. Now Bounds is the lone back. I'd imagine you're going to get it to him somehow. They fake the draw, now rolling to his left. Gets the pass downfield, incomplete. He threw it right into the turf, and the Florence defense holds.
What a great defensive series for the Florence Huskies. All predicated by the play of number 48, Zach Crowfoot. Between Zach Crowfoot, Jeff Smith, and the defensive secondary of Florence, this defense has done its job today.
Well, we thought if there was a unit that could make a difference in this game, it would be the Florence defense, and they come up with a huge stop there. 5:33 to go as the third quarter starts to slip away for Palisade. Here's Haynes around the side, makes a nice little cut there. Here comes a flag down. We're going to get a hold inside, I'd imagine, or a cut block of some kind.
The right guard, Corey Carpolo, pulling on that play. Mike Haynes, again, too fast for his blockers. He's got to be a little more patient. A little chop block.
Chop block is the call. Reason I thought it might be a chop block is because they came over and looked at the lineman. He was down on the ground, and that's right where the flag was laying. Oh, I was telling you about my nephew, Rick. We talked about Corey Carpillo. He's the kind of bully that just beats you up, and tells you about it the whole way. Just tells you how he's destroying you.
Good for that.
And then on the way back to the huddle, he describes what he does to you.
That's a 15-yarder. Moves them all the way back to their own 16.
Last thing you want is a guy knocking the snot out of you and telling you about it.
And bragging about it all the way home.
There's Clint up the middle. Clint Baderas, no gain.
Actually lost about a half a yard on that.
Florence on a couple of occasions has been able to overcome some penalty calls against them.
They've been penalized for 67 yards though this game, and one penalty was declined. So they've had some problems maintaining that discipline that you need.
Well, they spread the formation here. Set the pocket down the middle. It's complete to Crowfoot. Out across the 30. Boy, is he a target coming across the middle, and he's no stranger to the football. He's the leading receiver. We mentioned earlier in the game St. Laurent was the leading wide receiver, but Crowfoot, who plays tight end, leads the team with 15 receptions, 385 yards.
Gets 15 of it back.
10 yards to go.
So he gets all the penalty yardage back, plus maybe a half a yard. It's going to be third down. Call it 9. Close to 10. Looking downfield, under pressure and sacked. Actually not a sack, as he's able to get a yard or two. Coming in on the pressure, Luke Nickel for the Bulldogs. So Florence will have to punt the football away. Here is the look, just good coverage downfield.
It's supposed to a screen pass in the flat, and every defender from Palisade was locked up on somebody, which is what you want.
Ty Baderas to punt it away. Dustin Harris along with Eli Groh deep for the Bulldogs. Long count. Baderas gets it. And another booming kick. I mean, he has got a huge leg. Sends him back inside the 20-yard line. Back up field low is the quarterback, Dustin Harris. across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. A return of about 13 yards.
Well, Clint Paderas can kick the football.
Man, oh man.
He's a nice-looking punter.
Nothing subtle about it either.
No.
He just booms that baby. So Palisade now from, looks like about the 33-yard line.
Got the glare right into us now.
And a direct snap to bounds. He's going to try to sweep it around the right side. He's got the corner, and he is tripped up. Still a decent gain on the play. Gain about 6 on the play. I'll tell you what it looks like when Bounds comes around that corner, Joe. It looks like a few players have the angle on it, but nobody's really anxious to get in there on those thighs and try to take him on. Here he is.
Well, do you blame him? That's the key. Do you blame him? He gets 6 on the carry.
You saw
He's a load.
Stevenson carry there. Was the first man there, but you just kind of see him sliding out of the way, looking for something to hit that wasn't going to hurt him. 2nd down and 4 from the 39-yard line. Long count. Go to Britton up the middle. He's blasted.
Guess
And
who?
again, it's Crowfoot, and he flexes. Gives him a little most muscular pose after he destroys him. You know all those poses, right, Joe?
I
You
know.
practice any of those anymore?
I do. How high is the water? See, right here, Kyle Britton, the tailback, head on with Zach Crowfoot. Zach Crowfoot's going to win that battle every time if it's head on. Believe you me, folks. Head on.
3rd and 3 from the 40. Britton in motion to the left. Usually they give it to Bounds right at the middle off this play. They fake it to him, and the quarterback keeps it, and there's that bully, that big guy in the middle, Corey Carpillo, telling him about it as he flings him to the turf with utter disdain.
Loses 2 on the play. What a great play by the senior Corey Carpillo. 6'2", 270 from his defensive tackle position.
What a brute. And he's got Richard Sierra lines up right next to him. That is a couple of bookend tackles right in the middle of the field. Bounds, will he punt it this time? 4th and 5. This time he will punt it away, and he shanks it again.
That's into the crowd.
He's heading right toward us, Joe. Sails out of bounds at about the 50 with the angle, though. It's going to be back around. It's got to be back around the 45, I would think.
Well, they're going to be awful generous on this.
Yeah, they're still walking upfield with it.
Well, maybe
and right
not.
there, at the 46. So about a 8-yard punt.
8-yard punt. Well, they've had an 8-yard punt, a 14-yard punt.
And the only reason they got 14 on it early when it took about a 10-yard bounce, if you remember right. So a minute to go in what has been a scoreless 3rd quarter. Can Florence put it away here? Fake it.
Oh,
Now
look at
Clint
that.
will
There
keep
you
it.
go.
Across the 40, bams his way down across the 40 to the 38-yard line.
That's the play they've been looking for the entire game.
2nd and a yard from the 38. Are all they're actually going to measure here. They give him a pretty good spot. And well,
Did you see that wall fill on that side, on the strong side? He ran to the strong side, and Slack and Carpillo, they just put up a wall. Got 9 out of it, or did he get 10? He got 9.
Palisade takes a timeout here on defense as they're going to talk it over. Timeout on the field, 42 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. It's 27-14 Florence on CNN Sports. Today's state 3A championship game brought to you by Last Mile Estates, Lippus Excavating, and Fremont School District RE2. Well, a happy fan base here at Palmer Field in Florence, Colorado. The Huskies lead it 27-14 over the Bulldogs. Overflow crowd. There's standing room only. The whole field is lined with fans. Got here about 10:45 this morning, Joe, and it was packed then. People were ready. Here we go. 2nd and a yard. And they give it to Ty off the right side, breaks a tackle right at the line of scrimmage and angles his way across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Huskies.
That's only their second first down of the third quarter.
Might have spun an ankle a little bit there, or knee. Got up limping a little bit, did Ty Badaris, but he's all right.
His older brothers told him to shake it off. You got all winter to rest.
They run the option to the right.
Oh my.
Clint keeps it, big opening. He's down the sideline, puts his head, here comes a flag down, way back upfield as Badaris is into the end zone. We're gonna get another one of those chop blocks, I think, Joe. As one of the players is limping for Palisade, limping on the play is Luke Nickel. I think he got chopped back at about the 25-yard line, and that's where the flag is. Well, actually, the call is going to be holding.
Pull it back out.
See if we can pick it up here in a moment.
Another 10 yards of penalties.
Another one of those flags that really disgusts the offense when you see it flying in when your man's about 10 yards from the end zone. All of a sudden, a flag comes in 30 yards from where the action is, but if it's holding, it's holding.
Holding. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, line of scrimmage. Repeat the down.
Well, you know, I think things aren't all that bad for our referee today, Joe. You know why? Tis the season.
That's right.
I think there's some Santa jobs out there. He looks like a natural.
Fourth down, or you get 1st and 20 now. Boy, that was a nice wide open play, but then you ask yourself, was it wide open because somebody was holding?
I love those crowd shots, those isolated shots of some of the parents just letting loose. And they go to Clint up the middle. I think they might give him a rest, but there they ripped the ball free, but the whistle had blown. Bounds had the ball.
I think they're going
the
to say
whistle had blown. You can hear whistles blowing.
His forward progress was stopped as well, down to the 37.
You definitely hear the whistles. The third quarter has come to an end here. We'll take a look at it right here, Joe, see if they did rip this out.
Again, I think they're saying that his
he stopped right there, and then they ripped it free right there, so he was down. Forward progress had been stopped. Fourth quarter coming your way next on CNN Sports, 27-14 our score. Florence on top on CNN Sports. Today's State 3A Championship game brought to you by Quick Stop Food Store, City Mark, and Valco. There you see some of those fans we alluded to ringing the field here. Tell you what, whoever's selling sponsorships here at Florence High School doing a good job. Whole stadium ringed with corporate donors.
So that's the way it should be here in Florence. This is a community that it came out to support them. I mean, this doesn't happen every year. Just ask every team that's ever won a state championship.
Second down and about 14. Clint, and he is ridden down, and I do mean ridden. He could have put a saddle on him there as Eric Easterbrook just jumped on board and rode him into the turf after a gain of about 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
That was that same play they just scored a touchdown was called back on.
Justin Young split wide to the right. Rocchio left. Straight drop back. And they run the screen to the right side. But he's got the first down and more as he's inside the 20. That was actually a good play on defense to save the touchdown by Eli Grove. I mean, that looked like it had touchdown written all over Joe, but Grove made a nice move there to make the tackle. Not before he got 13 first down. You see Haynes making the grab. He's wide open here in space. He elected to cut inside, and Grove made a nice move there to tackle him. What a great game today for Mike Haynes. Run the option to left. And Clint keeps it across. 15, cuts back inside. 10, down to about the 5, still on his feet, and he's finally hauled down, but not before he gets a first and goal at the 5-yard line. Powerful running by Clint Medeiros, the senior quarterback.
What an excellent run by the senior. Excellent, excellent run.
Made a lot of cuts there in one run.
That's a team staying with their blocks all the way.
Give it up the middle to Ty. Ty Medeiros gets it down to about the 3-yard line.
Still,
he comes out of there limping. He's got a bad ankle, it looks like. That right ankle's giving him some problems.
Still didn't go down.
Might be his left ankle.
Steve Bregame come in from playing outside linebacker. He's going to replace Ty Medeiros. The head coach Marks is also his dad, saying, look, if you can't go 100%, I don't want you getting more hurt.
And they fake it to Bergant, and Clint keeps it, gets maybe a yard. That's pretty much the ball game right here for Palisade. They got to stop him here, keep him out of the end zone somehow. Now an official's timeout, any equipment problem. I think Clint Medeiros is your quarterback to have a helmet problem. Or now actually they're sending Crowfoot off the field. He's got an equipment problem also. They made Crowfoot actually take a water bottle off and wash off his left glove. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Might have been some blood. The last thing you want is that clock to stop, though.
And now they rewind it now. 9:25 to go, and it is running.
And counting.
Third down and goal. They run the option to the right, pitch it to Haynes, and he's in trouble. And he is going to be thrown down for a loss back at about the 6-yard line.
I still think you got to go for it here.
Well, you could try the field goal. A field goal gets you a 16-point lead, which would be 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions. And Florence will take the timeout here, and we'll get our wits about us and decide what we want to say next. 8:50 to go. Fourth quarter. Florence is taking the timeout. They lead at 27-14. Well, Joe, we'll talk about it when we come back after this timeout. 27-14 Florence on CNM Sports. Today's State 3A Championship game brought to you by Morelli Consulting, Last Mile Estates, and Lippis Excavating. Palmer Field, 27-14. Who's up in the lift today? Incognito with the hat on. That's Ian. No, that's Scott's. The Scott's boy up there.
The soccer player.
Another one of those soccer guys. They're everywhere. Well, they will go for it. Clint rolling to his right, looks into the back of the end zone for Crowfoot, and it's incomplete. Sails into the bleachers.
Threw it out of the stands.
And man is hurt on the play. Crowfoot is hurt as the fans are directing traffic over there. Crowfoot gets up. He's either hurt his ankle or hurt his knee, and that's going to hurt this defense.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
Man.
The one guy that's
he doesn't come out though. Joe, look, he walks toward the huddle.
The one guy that's plugged up the defense for them the entire game has been Zach Crowfoot.
Well, by not getting the first down and turning it over on downs, they still put Palisade in a hurt here. 8:43 to go. They got to go 93 yards. But when you got speed like Travis Bounds, that might be one carry. They give it to Britton, though, the tailback up the middle, and he gets it out maybe across the line of scrimmage. Might have got a yard on the play.
If I'm Florence, I'm thanking you for not running Travis Bounds. I'm telling you, I've seen this kid play, and I was so impressed with him last week. I've touted his wares all week long because he was that good.
And they run a little play action. Harris to his right, he gets it to Bounds, puts his head down, and he's out across the 15 to about the 18. He's got the first down. It's pretty obvious in their passing game also, Joe. They look to him first. He's almost like the primary receiver.
Sure. He's a big target. Gets 13 yards on the play there.
Well, you like your chances with him against the linebacker. You fake it to him, and then he just runs more or less just an out pattern, and you roll to that side, and he's usually open every time.
He scored on a 75-yard pass like that last week against Pueblo County in the semifinals.
Ball just inside the 20. They run a reverse. They're looking to pass. Yes, they don't. And Bounds gets it out to about the 26-yard line. Here comes a flag, and 2 flags in very late.
I wondered if Bounds was going to try and throw. We saw him warming up, though. That's
brutal,
not the pass you want to throw.
Especially, he had hard enough time rolling to his right. I don't know if I want to see him rolling.
Personal foul.
Face mask against Florence.
That's their 10th penalty for 92 yards.
Face mask. First down.
They've been penalized 10 times for 92 yards.
So 1st and 10 at the 42. Run the draw play to Britton. Cuts it inside, big opening, 50. Down to about the 45. Pick up a 13 on the play. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains. 7:41 to go. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs here as they go to the no-huddle offense. We saw this in the first half. They're very adept at this, trying to pick up the pace a bit. Ball just inside the 45-yard line. Straight drop, now they roll to the right. Get it to Britton. It's just like a long handoff there as they get it to the tailback across the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Simple little pass, and they worked on that. Speaking of pregame warm-ups, Joe, a lot. They just run those little out patterns.
Well, all their backs are talented enough to be able to catch the football like that.
2nd and about 4. They give it to Bounds up the middle, and he breaks free for the first down. He's inside the 35 to about the 34.
It's 5 yards on the carry, down to the 34. He has 18 carries for 128 yards, and that's including a 30-yard loss.
That's tough on your resume, that 30-yard loss to overcome, but he's done it. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Roll to the left, and pass into flat is incomplete. They try to get it to Britton. 2nd down and 10. Well, the action heating up on the field, but the air temperature, Joe, it's cooling off a little bit as the sun's starting to go behind the clouds.
Those clouds come in, it drops about 15 degrees. Plus, we're at altitude in the scaffolding.
Yeah. Draw play to Britton. Tries to get outside, and he's hit down hard.
Bergant, Mike Slack.
Bergant's hurt, I believe.
That's
or
Mike
not,
Slack.
Slack, excuse me. Slack is the one that's hurt. The
No, I
bookend
think
inside.
I think he's tired. Lost one on that. No gain, I guess.
And I didn't see the timeout signal, Joe, but there's a timeout on the field. I thought it might have been for the injury. But anyway, 6:41 to go here in the 4th quarter. We do have timeout on the field. Florence in control. The Huskies lead at 27-14 over the Bulldogs on C&M Sports. Today's game brought to you by Quick Stop, City Market, and Valco. Oh, a key 3rd down and 10 call upcoming here for the Bulldogs. This game, it was 27-14 with about 3 minutes to go in the first half, and we've stayed right there. Neither team able to score in the 3rd quarter, neither team able to score here in the first half of this 4th quarter. Palisade facing 3rd and 10. They spread the formation a bit. Crowd rising up. Rolling out to the right. Putting his head down. Harris. Nice move there. He's got the first down. He's got the corner at the 15, down to the 10, down to about the 5 before Crowfoot knocks him out of bounds, but a huge gain there. Dustin Harris. Dustin in the wind, as Joe said in the pregame show.
30-yard carry on the play.
That looked harmless. But he broke away there after he gained about 5 and turned the corner.
30 yards on the carry.
Right there, Joe, as he breaks that tackle, then it was off to the races.
It was almost over pursuit by the Florence defenders. And the fastest guy in a blue uniform is number 22, Mike Haynes.
Here's Bounds up the middle to the goal line, but they stop him just short. They're going to mark it just inside the 1.
Well, the thing about keeping him out of the end zone right there is take another 30 seconds off the clock. 6 minutes and counting.
This time they split the formation, and Harris keeps it. And is he in? No signal as of yet. I think they stopped him. The way they've signaled it is 3rd down. They stop him short.
And that's just eating up clock is what that's doing. That's just eating up clock.
I know a quarterback sneak is a safe play, but when you got a guy like Travis Bounds, what are you messing around for?
Well, and we saw Mike Slack come off the field with an injury. So it's up to Corey Carpillo and Richard Sierra. Although you don't lose much at 255 with Richard Sierra coming in.
And there's Bounds up the middle. He's in. Touchdown. 5:14 to go, 4th quarter. And the Bulldogs have cut it to 7 with an extra point upcoming.
Well, that was just efficiency right there. Jesse Whitegren in for extra point attempt. Snaps high. And he missed it.
Missed the kick off to the right.
No,
he got through there. It just snuck through on right upright. Pardon me, 5:14 to go, 4th quarter. Bulldogs are within 6. It's Florence 27, Palisade 21 on C&M Sports. Today's game brought to you by Fremont School District RE2, Canyon Rental, and Domino's Pizza. Well, Joe, we've got ourselves a ball game. 5:14 to go, 4th quarter. And that was an impressive drive. 94 yards, rather.
94 yards.
12 plays it took him. Key play was that 3rd down and 10.
Dustin Harris.
When Harris ran at 30 yards. Let's go down to the sideline. Quick interview with Kent McKinney.
All right, guys, Michael Slack took a good shot to the back. He twisted his back as well. They're icing the lower back. He should go back in the game, depending on how they do on offense this time. Back to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Kent.
The onside kick attempt. There's a lot of time left, though.
And they are going to try it, and it doesn't get the required 10 yards.
And they'll take the ball right there. That ball didn't go 10 yards. It stayed right there. They're going to take it at the Palisade 47.
Yeah, first rule of thumb on an onside kick, get it 10 yards.
Well, that was a gift right there. With the game in the balance, that was a gift.
Not showing a lot of confidence in your defense either by kicking it deep.
Well,
and
with
trying
5.5
to
minutes
take it
to
over.
go against a running team, though, But I think Palisade's defense has played good in the second half.
And they get good pressures. They come on the blitz up the middle. They fake the handoff to Ty Badaris. Remember, he's playing with a bad wheel. And then Clint just took a look, and he had nowhere to go. It almost looked like he was indecisive, but the reason he was indecisive because nothing was open. Loses 3.
Great job by Dustin DeProspo for Palisade, number 55. Folks, he's 6'1", he's 230 pounds, and he's a freshman. I mean, he's 250 pounds, and he's a freshman.
Clock rolling, 4:40 to go. Rolling to the left. Faking the pass, tucking it under, across the 45, nice move there, dives to the 40-yard line, about 3 yards short of the first down, but Clint Badaris picking up 10.
Puts him over the century mark.
I mean, that is as good a 10-yard run as you're ever going to see there.
And it was such a key one because they need to stop the clock. Watch, he's going to one pump fake, the linebacker bid on that, and he has to get inside. One move, jukes right there. That's a great play by Eric Easterbrook of Palisade, number 51. He's their leading tackler.
And they jump offside. Oh, my.
Gift first down.
Prior to snap, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty.
It'll be a Husky first down.
Man, oh man, a lot of penalties have gone against Florence today, but this time, perhaps the most critical penalty of the game going against Palisade is 2 of them jumped into the neutral zone there.
That hard count has been working like a charm all game long for Clint Badaris.
And they blitz in there, and they've got Clint Badaris go down for a 2-yard loss. They are really shooting the gaps. They're gambling on defense. They have to. Clock rolling with 3:40 to go. Loss of 2.
Mike Bernal and Matt Popick, defensive tackles.
Lucky he didn't fumble there. He was able to keep a hold of that one.
Now he's no longer over the century mark in yards rushing. See the faces there from Palisade? Little anxious looks.
Yeah. Ringing the cowbells. Run it to Haynes on the draw play, and they are in there. They are swarming on defense right now. And now they're signaling they want timeout, and they finally get it. Lost about 5 seconds. They're frantic over there on that sideline. You see Haynes on the draw play here. So they really shut it down. They're really pinching down inside.
3 minutes to go, 10 yards away.
That's going to be 3rd down and 11 now for the Bulldogs here. We'll keep it right here with this timeout. 3:05 to go.
Just what we wanted. Nice, close, exciting game. Again, we've seen enough of these two. Well, I've seen enough of these two teams. Palisade in particular. I saw them last week. Had some scouting reports on them. Seen some tape on them. Good ball club. Florence, we've known all about them all season long. Solid team. Their defense has come to play. Florence's offense has not scored in the second half. 27 first half points is all they have right now. Big 3rd down and 10.
Here we go. 3:05 to go. 3rd down and a long 10. And now the official stops the clock. The linesman over here on this right side.
Justin Young, the wide receiver, called timeout for Florence. He called a quick timeout.
Florence didn't like the formation they're in. So this time, I think we'll probably take a timeout. 3:04 to go. 4th quarter. Florence still on top by a thread. They lead at 27-21 over Palisade on CNM Sports. Today's game brought to you by Lippis Excavating, Fremont School District RE2, and Canyon Rental. Field. There we go. 27-21. That's some of the Palisade fans you were looking at there. One of their buses was a little late getting here today. Right at about game time they showed up.
They saw every play, though. Of course, they're all standing.
Yeah.
Drive for 5 hours, stand for 4.
Weren't many good seats available if you showed up 5 minutes before this one. Here we go, third down. We'll call it 10. Clint in the pocket, launches it downfield for Crowfoot. He's got it on the sideline. First down for the Huskies.
Holy cow.
Zach Crowfoot. Big shot, but he hauled it in.
He might have been hurt on that play earlier that was in the end zone, but right there, he made the play. He's down on one knee. What a great play by the senior.
He's getting that helmet fixed up. Here's the delivery, and Crowfoot hung in there, made grab right on the sideline. It's a good thing he was on his tiptoes, especially with that right foot. That was so close to being out of bounds.
Well, he needs 10, and he...
Clock stuck, 2:50 to go, but now. Run the option to the right. And there's actually is Clint Badera going to keep it. He's not going to risk pitching it at this point. So the clock rolls. We're at the 2:45 mark. Palisade, do they have one timeout or none, Joe?
I think they might be done. It's hard to say. These officials don't really tell you who calls the timeout. I know they're looking at the back judge now, waiting for the countdown. And I know these fans are looking at this is going to be the longest 2:25 in their lives.
You know, we just saw the replay on that pass play again. It is debatable whether he was out of bounds. Doesn't matter, though. Here's Medeiros up the middle. Big opening. He's close to the first down. As he's inside the 15, they stop the clock to take a look at it at least.
Got to the 13.
We're looking at the spot, looking at the measure here. Yep, they give it to him. First down. 1st and 10 with 2:08 to go. You know, right here at this point in the game, Joe, you let him score. If you can't, you got to let him in. You got to get the ball back. I would open the floodgates and let him score here.
Then I want the ball.
Yeah, can you get the ball back? Did you go and get the ball if they just run a little simple play up the middle? Medeiros puts his head down, and now the clock runs.
The injury.
Here, but the thing about on an injury timeout, they stop the clock for the moment, but as soon as the ball is put back in play, then they wind the clock. So
and
it's
I
just
would never
stopping it
say
for the moment.
a high school kid would fake an injury.
He's been hurt earlier in the game. We're looking at...
that's Luke Nickel, the defensive tackle.
Remember, he left earlier in the game for a play or two. Fans banging on the temporary bleachers. Let's see if we can see the injury right here.
Well, there's a whole mess of Palisade Bulldogs
there,
underneath there.
They haven't wound the clock yet.
Yeah, they have.
There it goes. They didn't let much of it go off. Here's Haynes up the middle, inside the 10. That might have been a mistake by Florence there, Joe. They should have waited.
I think the back judge was giving him the signal. He gave him the signal.
So we're down to 1:15.
You know, we're used to the officials in Pueblo, they give you the 5 count. The back judge here put his arm up like this, and then
Clint 5 seconds. Clock rolls. We're at 1 minute to go.
1 minute.
3rd down.
You can feel this place wanting to explode.
Long count. They get it off in time, and Clint keeps it. Clint Medeiros. Down to 35 seconds to go. They still haven't wound the clock here. We're down to 30. They put it in play 20. They can wind it down to 2 seconds to go, take a timeout, then run the clock out. This game's pretty much over. They got to run one more play, though.
Florence, although you can't say it till the final gun, we've learned that with LSU.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything until anything's done, but Clint Medeiros rushed for 111 yards, 2 touchdowns and threw for 1. If you're looking for a player, we like Mike Haynes. He done a great job. Zach Crowfoot defensively.
The game is, fans are wanting to run out on the field. The game isn't over because they got to run another play here.
The cannon went off.
So with 1 second to go here,
we got to like Clint Medeiros, Jim. He's run for 2 touchdowns, thrown for another one, guided the offense when they needed to drive, rushed for 111 yards.
He's the quarterback, he's the senior, coach's son.
I think Clint Medeiros. I think if we gave a defensive player of the game, it would definitely be Zach Crowfoot. Maybe we'll go co-MVP.
Why not?
It's a fictitious award anyway.
That's right, it doesn't really matter.
Number 48 and number 7. All the Florence Huskies have done the job today. But
let's not forget Mike Haynes with his contribution early. Well, they put 3 seconds on the clock here. They had 1, now it's back to 3. So you can't just take a knee here. You've got to move around a little bit to run the clock out. And that's what Medeiros does. He backs up, and now he takes the knee. Time has run out.
There's the
Huskies are the state 3A champions of Colorado football as they defeat Palisade 27-21. And let the celebration begin at Palmer Field. Now the traditional handshake in midfield. There you see the coaching staffs shake hands.
Just like hockey.
You know, kind of a controlled celebration here, not the mob scene you're coming to expect from college campuses around the country. Here they few of the students out there, but everybody letting the kids enjoy it as they should out there on the field. A few more trickling in. What a ball game we had here today. We expected fireworks. We had it early, but the defenses took over and came right down to the wire.
And you like when seniors play good a final game at home, and it was Zach Crowfoot, and it was Clint Medeiros, and it was Mike Haynes. That's the way to go out, boys.
You see the Palisade team gathered around their head coach. So that's Todd Casebeer. Having their little post-game talk, and now they make their way off toward the end zone. They're moving a little bit further away from the celebration. Have a trophy presentation here shortly.
What a good day for Florence High School football.
What a good day for the community of Florence.
It was. Good close game too, not a blowout.
We had it all, man. We had good, exciting play on defense, play on offense.
It's not the first time this school's won a state championship, and I guarantee you it won't be the last.
3-1 now, right, in title games. I think they were 2-1 coming into this one.
And give Palisade credit. They've kind of run the table in terms of quality opponents they've had to face this year. Evergreen, Alamosa, Pueblo County.
Getting set for the trophy presentation. Jay Cornell's representing
the Colorado
High School Activities Association out of Pueblo. We're very familiar, of course. Our Fremont County viewers today. Jay Cornell's Director of District 60 Athletics. We appreciate everything he's done for us all year, and he's providing a key role for the state of Colorado today.
You see everybody getting a hand for Palisade. Todd Casebeer telling his guys, heck of a run, boys. Just get on the bus.
Massive humidity out there, trying to see exactly where the trophy's at, Joe. Somewhere in the middle there. Being presented.
We'll see it
to
hoisted
Florence.
here shortly.
They'll get it up in the air in a minute.
Head coach Mark Medeiros getting up on his shoulder. They hoist him up.
Well, that's got to be a feeling that unlike any other. Especially with your two boys playing with you. Jake Cornell's out at midfield.